Hello, and thank you for taking the time to listen to Hunger in New Mexico, a group volunteer project for New Mexico food banks. Overview of our goals. We were assigned this project in our small group communication class to apply and practice our communication skills in a small group environment. The assignment called for us to volunteer with the nonprofit organization and serve our community. This presentation highlights our experience with the nonprofit Roadrunner Food Bank and the issue of hunger in New Mexico. This presentation includes an in-depth analysis of our small group communication experience. Hunger and malnutrition. Hunger is a feeling of discomfort or weakness caused by lack of food coupled with the desire to eat. Malnutrition is the lack of proper nutrition caused by not having enough to eat, not eating enough of the right things, or being unable to use the food that one does eat. Hunger is a growing crisis in New Mexico. With the long-lasting effects of COVID-19, it was projected that 1 of every 5 people and 1 of every 3 children was affected by food insecurity in New Mexico in 2021. New Mexicans currently facing hunger. 324,000 people are at risk of hunger in New Mexico, while 118,000 of them are children. 1 in 6 people face hunger in New Mexico, while 1 in 4 of them are children. People facing hunger in New Mexico are estimated to report needing $150,238,000 more dollars per year to meet their food needs. Food insecurity. Food insecurity is defined as a lack of consistent access to food for every person in a household to live an active, healthy life.
Why people face food insecurity. There are many reasons why people face food insecurity. Some of these are due to unemployment, underemployment, low-paying jobs, homelessness, medical or healthcare costs. Childcare costs are limited life skills. Food insecure households are not necessarily food insecure all the time. Many people have to choose between food and utilities, food and transportation, food and housing, or food and medical care. Food insecure households in New Mexico. Approximately about 61% of households choose between food and utilities. About 66% of households choose between food and transportation, 59% between food and medical care, 48% between food and housing costs. The solutions. Solutions to food insecurity that can help are donations, fundraising and advocating for change, or volunteering. Food banking. Why food banking? The concept behind food banking is simple. Find a safe and healthy surplus food that's no longer wanted and get it to the people who need it most. The challenge is to secure enough funding to gather and distribute that food. That is where we felt we can help make a difference by going out and volunteering to help distribute the food to these people and community in need. The Roadrunner Food Bank. The Roadrunner Food Bank is a member of the national network of 200 food banks across the United States called Feeding America. This nonprofit is the largest domestic hunger relief program in the US, providing about 46 million hungry Americans. As the local member of the national affiliation, the Roadrunner Food Bank receives food, funding, best practice information, and much more to help hungry neighbors.
Impact by the numbers. Roadrunner Food Bank serves 70,000 people in New Mexico weekly. 34 million pounds distributed last year, 10 million pounds produced, distributed. 1/3 of the annual distribution is fruits and vegetables, and 28 million meals provide life-changing meals to hungry children, seniors, and families. Almost 11 million pounds of produce was distributed. 1/3 of distribution is fruits and vegetables. Food Mobile. Food banks also provide food to families who live in rural areas. 600,000 miles traveled last year. 500 members are partners. Group 3 introduction. We're all students of WNMU attending Dr. Klein's small group communication course virtually. We were assigned this group project to apply that we have been learning in class and help in the community while practicing our communication skills. Since we all live in different areas of the state, virtual meetings and collaboration were our means of communication. These include messaging through Canvas, email, text messaging, and Zoom audio video conferencing. We found that Zoom audio conferencing, we were the most effective. This is our group. We are group 3. Jessica, Madison, Adrian, myself, Aiden, and Jen. Our group members' locations in New Mexico. To start it off, Jessica lives in Las Vegas, Jen lives in Taos, Madison lives in Deming, and myself and Adrian live in Silver City. The food bank locations are in Santa Fe and Deming. This here is a presentation of where we live. The red dots show where we live, and then the blue dots show where the food banks are.
Group development. The first few meetings we had to find our footing, but soon after we naturally created a cohesive group environment. Our shared goal to complete the project was a catalyst for this. We set out to accomplish a task, then found positive cooperation and group acceptance guided our decision making. Everyone was open to listening and sharing ideas, and initially we were task-oriented, but after a few meetings, our social dimension grew by sharing a little bit about ourselves. Getting to know each other created a more relaxed environment and appreciation for each other's talents, and this deepened the cohesiveness and brought about more productivity. In developing the group climate, we had deep diversity and openness. We are fortunate to be a group of diverse people of different ages, diverse backgrounds, and different life experiences. Each group member brings their unique perspective that broadens the group's perspective as a whole. We get along well and respect each other's contributions, and we collectively agree that we are happy to be a member of the group that we were assigned to work with. Group roles. With an unanimous agreement, we chose Aiden to be the leader of the group. However, we did not create any other formal roles. We found that through our interactions, informal groups were developed. We found that these roles would shift and evolve throughout our time working together. Our role flexibility and adaptability were strong assets to maintaining a positive group climate and our productivity. Who played what role? So for our informal roles, myself, Madison, and Adrian were initiators and contributors. Jessica and Jen were information seekers, with Jessica being an information giver and Jen being an opinion seeker. Adrian was a clarifier elaborator. Myself, Madison, was a coordinator and a felicitator. Aiden was a supportive encourager, Jen was a devil's advocate, and according to Jen, a bit of a stage hog, although we all agreed that Jen's contributions to our group were very important. And so our group function analysis, what did we learn? What went well? What didn't go so well?
The defective decision-making and problem solving. Our first biggest obstacle as a group was the lack of responding to text messaging due to everyone's schedules. We decided as a group that we would always schedule our next Zoom meeting during an open one, and then that we would try our best to respond promptly. We experienced information overload while piecing our PowerPoint presentation together. The effective decision-making and problem solving. Our cooperative group climate was supported by active listening and our we-focused intentions. We found the right balance of group cohesiveness and productivity, which supported our decision-making. The group had a good understanding of what needed to be done and came to a consensus most times. The challenges and obstacles we faced. There was difficulty scheduling meeting times. We had delays with email response, no response with text messaging at times. The tasks that were assigned were not always clear to some group members. We had weather delays on our volunteer days, and family life outside of school, work, and school schedules. Project outcome. Our group really came together not only to complete this project for a grade, but also to come out and help people in need. It opened a lot of doors that we may continue to volunteer after the completion of our group project. We are gaining more insight into what makes a small group effective and the obstacles a group may face. We each had our own set of challenges, but felt the project has helped us to see the areas to improve on our communication. With this awareness, we hope to continue to improve our communication skills for all our future endeavors. So here are some pictures of our volunteer experience. Jessica and Jen at the Food Depot in Santa Fe. And here are pictures of us loading the food distribution into cars. Aiden, Madison, and Adrian in Deming. And here are some of the food that was distributed. Frozen foods, fruits and vegetables, and staples, cans, beans, bread. And some happy kids with food in their bellies.
It is an eternal obligation toward the human being not to let him suffer from hunger when one has a chance of coming to his assistance. Simone Weil. Our group would like to thank you for taking the time to watch our presentation and hope to inspire others to take action in fighting against hunger.